Mindful Bodyworks. So today is going to be day 4 of our Hiit yoga flow. With Hiit yoga, we do high intensity interval training in actual yoga poses. So it's a lot easier on our joints, such as our knees and our shoulders. There are modifications the whole time. We usually start with a basic move, and then I'll give you a cue if you want to get a better workout, how you can challenge yourself. So make sure that you pick the one that is good for your body. So with Hiit yoga, we do get our heart rates up. So it's really important that if your heart rate is getting too elevated, that you take it back down to the modification. If any time you need to press pause and get some water, please do. Just make sure you come back, okay? So let's go ahead and warm up. So we're just gonna start in a lunge. We're gonna have our right foot forward. And we're just gonna inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. You wanna make sure that your foot is out further than your knee. So your knee should not be in front of the ankle. It should be even. Make sure you're breathing. You have about 3 more. 2. And 1. Good. Let's just hold these arms up and stretch out the front of the back leg here. So really breathing. If this is too much, you can also have your hands on your hips, whatever's comfortable. Make sure your posture is nice and straight, lifting through the crown of the head. Good. And then from here, we'll just come back to center and we'll go to the other side. So we have our left foot forward and we're gonna inhale up and exhale down. Make sure you're breathing. You wanna try and inhale up, exhale down. You can breathe through the nose or through the mouth, it doesn't matter. We have about 3 more. Again, making sure that your knee is not in front of the ankle. You want to have a good formation. And let's just do 1 more. Good. And then let's just hold it in a lunge. Stretching the front of that back leg. And breathing. Keeping your navel sucked in so you're protecting the low back. Good, and then we'll go ahead and come back to center. And then we're just gonna come forward. So you wanna have a nice bend in the knees, bringing the hands forward. Now if you're not able to touch the ground, you can hold a chair or blocks, whatever's comfy for you. So we're gonna inhale and bring the right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, switch. Inhale, left arm. And exhale down. And do this for a couple more breaths. You might need to go a little faster or a little slower depending on how you breathe. But again, keeping a micro bend in the knees so you're not hyperextending those knee joints. We'll do 1 more on each side. Last one. Come back to center. And here we're just gonna make a nice big bend in the knees and we're gonna turn our toes out towards the corner of the mat or at an angle like a V. And then we're just going to push on the inner knees towards the back wall. So really opening up those adductors in the front of the inside of the hips. Again, breathing through all of this. Muscles and tissue need oxygen too. And then releasing, straightening the legs, turning the toes in. And let's just walk those feet back to about hip width apart. And from here, we're just gonna relax the head, the neck, the shoulders, and just kind of loosey-goosey sway around, opening the hips, breathing. Good, and then come back to center. And just relax the head down. I'm gonna turn sideways just so you can see me a little bit better. from here, we're just gonna come into a flat back. So we have our knees slightly bent, and our flat back, we're just gonna bring the shoulder blades towards each other and then down the back. You wanna reach through the crown of the head, so just looking forward at an angle like to the front of your mat if you're using one. And then on your next exhale, coming back down. And again, inhale, half lift. Nice straight spine, knees are bent. And on your next exhale, coming back down. So again, just swaying from side to side, opening the hips. And then we're gonna roll one vertebrae and then the other all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. Your head is the last thing to come up. And that feels good. All right, guys, so let's get ready for our first interval. Remember, we do 8 rounds or 8 sets, 20 seconds each. You'll hear the beep. We have 10-second break in between each. So each exercise takes around 4 minutes. So anybody can do anything for 4 minutes, right? So I do have a Tabata timer or interval timer on my yoga book. So you'll hear an audible beep. I will give you audible cues as well. So let's get started. So our first one, we're gonna be doing a squat, and then we're gonna step over. Toes are gonna turn towards, if you're using a mat, it'll turn towards the corner, and you're gonna lift, calf lift. Then you're gonna come over to the other side, so you stay low the whole time, and you lift over here, okay? So this is what it looks like. Lift, lift, okay? So when you sit back in your squat, make sure that your hips are going back. You've got sits bones back here. Make sure they're pointing backwards. Even if you don't go very low, you still want to make sure that your knees are not coming forward. You have to sit your hips back to protect your knees. All right, so here we go. I'll put this right here so I can see it a little bit better. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So squat, so we step to the corner, lift, step over, lift. Make sure you're breathing. Now the first couple of sets we go slower because we want to make sure we're doing the movement properly. And that's our rest. So 10 seconds. So you're welcome to go faster. Just make sure that you're watching your foundation. All right, so squat, step, lift, squat, lift. So I use my arms, but that's just the old aerobic instructor in me. You can just hold your arms still if you want to. So that's our break. We have 10 seconds. You're welcome to grab water. Of course, 10 seconds flies by. And here we go. Squat, lift, lift. So squeezing those legs, squeezing up through the glutes, working the whole lower body. And that's our rest. So you want to keep moving because your heart rate is getting elevated a little bit. So you don't want to just stand there. And here we go. Squat, step, lift, step, lift. And breathing. Remember, it's important to breathe. And that's our break. So we have 4 rounds left. This time, instead of a lift, if you want your heart rate to get higher, you can actually do a hop, and I'll demonstrate that this first one. So squat, okay? So it's the same thing, but instead of lifting, you're hopping, but you're still coming back to that squat. And that's our break. So 10 seconds. Make sure you're moving and you're breathing. And here we go. Squat, step, lift or hop, depending on how much cardio you want. I like to blow out when I hop or lift. It just reminds me to breathe. And that's our break. Only 2 rounds left. You guys are doing great. And here we go. So either lift or hop. If you feel like your heart rate's getting too high, come back to the lift. This is your workout, so you're not competing with anyone but yourself. All right, 10 seconds. This is the last round we have, so finish strong. And here we go. Squat, step, lift or hop. Make sure you're sitting back with those squats. Don't get sloppy on me. All right, and that's it, you did it. So that's round 1. I'm gonna reset the Tabata timer, and then we'll go into our second exercise. All right, guys, our second exercise is going to be a corkscrew plank. So with a corkscrew plank, setting up your plank foundation. Now you don't have to go into a full plank. You can just be on your hands and knees. With this, I would suggest taking your knees behind you just a little bit so you are getting more of an abdominal workout. But whatever works for you is fine. So with that, you're just gonna be taking your opposite knee to your opposite elbow, okay? Or the full plank, you'll come up on all fours and you'll just be taking the knee towards the opposite elbow, all right? Sounds pretty simple, right? You wanna make sure that you're keeping your navel or your belly button pulled into your spine the whole time. That's what's gonna protect your low back, no matter what you're doing, if you're doing the full plank or the modified. Now, anytime you're in the full plank, if you're feeling like it's too much, listen to your body and back off and do the modified plank, okay? All right, so here we go. We have 8 sets, 20-second intervals, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So let's start with the right knee, right, left. So you're just twisting, corkscrewing those abs. You want your shoulders to be over your wrists, so you're stacking those joints, and that belly button is sucking in towards the spine. And that's our break. So sitting up nice and tall, and just taking a couple of breaths. And here we go. So plank, twist, 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 twist. Don't forget, bring the navel in. Suck those abdominals in. Protect that low back. And that's our break. I'm working so hard, I'm moving my mat around. All right, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Set up your foundation. Now remember, if you need to drop down to the knees, you can still do that. You're still twisting. You're still working those abdominals. It's just a little bit easier on your joints, okay? So pick which one works best for you. And relax. You can open up the chest if you want to. And here we go. Setting up your foundation and corkscrew. Don't forget to pull those abdominals in. And that's a break. So we have 6 seconds left. Make sure you pause and get water anytime you need, or here we go. Now if it's too much for your wrist, You can also come down onto your forearms and do it like this. So it is a lot on the shoulders, but it's easier if you have wrist issues. Now you can also use fist as well. And I'll show you that one. So here we go. So you're just stacking those joints. Nice and straight. Five seconds. Saved by the bell. So we only have 2 rounds left. Come on, let's finish strong. I'm feeling this too. You can do it. Here we go. Corkscrew. Breathing. Remember, if you're blowing out, it's making you breathe. And that's it. One more round. Make sure you back off if you need to. If you're feeling this too much in any joints, remember, you can do that modification instead of doing the full plank. But make sure you're still twisting that knee across. Finish strong. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweet victory. All right, so I'm gonna reset the Tabata and then we'll come into our 3rd and final round. Good thing is it's actually gonna be on the floor. We'll be doing some abs. So if your heart rate's elevated, go ahead and push pause, grab some water, and then come back, okay? All right, guys, so we are embarking on our final round, and that, of course, is gonna be our abdominal round. So we'll be doing 4 sets of a belly bonfire with the knees bent, and then 4 sets with our legs straight. Now, it's very important, just like with the other exercises we did, that you keep that navel pulling in towards your spine. That will not only help your low back, protect your low back, but it's actually gonna make your abdominals work a little bit harder, okay? So let's go ahead and lie down. Now remember, if your heart rate is still elevated and you feel like you're really sucking in some breath, go ahead and press that pause button, get some water, cool down a little bit before you come down to the mat. Now you don't want to cool down all the way, but just make sure your heart rate is not too high, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and lay down. And our first interval is gonna look just like this. So we're gonna bend the knees big, and we're actually gonna be crunching in between the knees, okay? So you're bringing your elbows in the inside of the knees. So it's almost like you're just lifting up through the legs. And that's our break. So it's important to mention, even though our elbows are coming up between the knees, if you're pulling on your neck, bring your elbows out so that you're not prone to do that. And you can just try and touch your knees with your elbows, okay? So pick whichever one works best for you, but just know that we're not pulling on the neck at any time, okay? So breathing, like if someone's lifting you up, lift, and that's our break. So breathing here, and also stretch out long, and here we go. So pick which one works best for you. Knees bent, either elbows on the inside or elbows trying to touch knees. Make sure that you're not pulling on your neck. We're trying to work our abs, not our neck. Breathing. And that's a wrap. All right, we have one more set like this. And then we'll be doing our legs out flat. And here we go. So lift, lift, lift. Nose towards the ceiling. Belly button in towards the spine. And that's it. All right, take those legs out long. Stretch out. Now our next set of 4, we're just gonna put our hands behind our head and lift straight up. Legs are straight, lifting the nose towards the ceiling. Again, try and bring that navel towards the spine and breathe. If you push your head into your fingertips, it tends to keep you from straining your neck because you're actually using your abdominal muscles. You're not lifting your head with your hands. All right, here we go. Oh, all right, stretch it out. Only 2 rounds left. Hands behind the head. And here we go. Up. Belly bonfire. You should feel those abdominal muscles by now. If you don't, lift a little bit higher. Just make sure you're not lifting the neck. You're using those abdominals, those core muscles. And relax. All right, only 1 round left. We can do this, right? All right, here we go. Hands behind the head. And lift. Finish strong. You can do this. And relax. Woohoo, we made it. We survived. All right, go ahead and point those toes. Bring those fingertips out above the head on the floor. Reach, reach, reach. Really opening up the whole front of the body. And then bring the arms back down and we'll come into our cool down. So we're just gonna windshield wiper the legs from side to side. This feels so good. Breathing and relaxing. You guys did a wonderful job. You should be proud of yourself. We did a whole body workout, and those were only about 4 minutes each one. So you did a great workout in about 12 minutes. All right, bring in both legs back. We're gonna go ahead and hug those knees in and rock from side to side, relaxing the head, the neck, the shoulders. Breathing. Good, and then let's put our right foot on the floor. Left ankle goes onto the right thigh. And then we're gonna come through the hole and grab the hamstring. So you can lift up to grab, but you wanna relax the head, the neck, and the shoulders back down. I want both feet flexed here. And while you're actively pulling this right bent knee towards you, you wanna think about pushing that left knee away. So pulling the right knee towards, pushing the left knee away. Breathing into the hips. This is a wonderful hip opener. 2 more breaths here. And then relax. Switch sides, right ankle, left thigh. Through the hole, grab the hamstring, relax the head, neck, shoulders. Both feet are flexed here. Again, pulling the left bent knee towards us, actively pushing this right bent knee away. So not physically pushing it away, but just thinking about sending that knee away. You should feel a nice stretch in the right hip. And these hip stretches are absolutely wonderful. We use our hips so much, whether we're standing, sitting, jumping, hopping, skipping, running, walking, going up and down steps. All right, and relax out of that pose. All right, so from here, we're just gonna go ahead and roll over onto our belly, stretch out the abdominals, All right. So you can do it one of two ways. So you might feel a stretch just coming into a Sphinx pose, which is just stacking your elbows underneath your shoulders and really lifting. So bringing that head and lifting up and just kind of looking forward. You should feel a stretch in the abdominals. If you don't, and you don't have any low back issues at all, then you can come up on the hands a little bit. Make sure you back off if you feel anything in the low back. Our aim is to stretch the front of the body. So breathing, and then slowly coming back down. Good, and then so from here, we're just gonna put our hands into the mat and we're gonna come into a child's pose. So knees apart, feet together, sitting all the way back. Now, if you can't get your head to the mat, you can stack your fists. You can use a yoga block. There's many ways. You can even just sit like this if you don't have any of the above options. And so we just want to breathe here, opening that low back up. And we're going to bring both hands out towards the right side. So like the right front corner of the mat if you're using a sticky mat. And then walking back to center and then taking both hands out to the left. Breathing into the side here. And walking back to center. And then slowly coming up onto all fours. We're just going to come into a cat pose, stretching out the spine. And then relaxing back. We're just going to come into a seated position. We're going to stretch out the neck because everyone needs a neck stretch. And then we'll go ahead and end our practice. So with the neck stretch, we're just going to take our right hand out on the mat and we're going to take our left ear towards our left shoulder. So leaning over, even if you're not going very far, make sure you're breathing. You should feel a stretch on that right side. And then if it's comfortable, you can turn your nose up just a little bit towards the ceiling. So nose just tilting from forward up just a little bit, and you'll feel a stretch right here in your SCM or the front of the neck. Now if that's too much for you, just do whatever's comfortable. And then coming back to center, we'll come to the other side. So left arms are reaching out, and then we'll take our right ear towards our right shoulder. Really reaching and breathing through this, anchoring through those fingertips. Make sure you're not lifting that left shoulder, relaxing the shoulders. And again, if it's comfortable, turn the nose up just slightly, just so you feel a stretch in the front of the neck there. And then slowly come back up to center. So we're going to take our hands heart center prayer position, close our eyes, and breathe. So now that we're cooled off, we want to breathe through the nose if possible. So inhaling through the nose into the low, low belly, almost like you're inhaling a balloon with air. And then exhaling through the nose as well. And continue this breath, nice steady flow. And while you're breathing, be mindful, make sure you're not clenching your jaw or your eyes. Relax your neck and your shoulders. And a couple more breaths here. I want you to think about rooting down through your seat, almost like glue is gluing you down here to the earth. Breathing into this pose. Now if it's comfortable, we'll go ahead and dip our chin towards our fingertips. And we're going to take one more final breath here. And on our exhale, letting out any stress, any negativity, anything that doesn't deserve space. When you're ready, you can go ahead and blink the eyes open, keeping the gaze low. And then slowly bringing your head back up to center. And this is where we'll end our practice today. So namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed the HIIT workout. If you don't care for the HIIT workout and you never want to do one again, there are other yoga and meditation classes here on the channel, so be sure to check those out as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.